Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're sort of shifting gears, diving into something, well, a bit more sparkly maybe?
Definitely sparkly. We're looking at a source that throws us into a rugby match.
Yeah, but the twist is it's seen through the eyes of someone who seems much more familiar with runway lights than, stadium floodlights.
That's spot on. The whole premise is kind of brilliant. The usual sports commentator is apparently off at the 2025 Pretty in Pete fashion show in Paris.
Right, clearly the more important event.
Obviously. And so the emergency fill-in is this person who proudly claims they're the best catwalker in the Western Cape.
Quite the claim. And their mission isn't tactics or scores. It's all about critiquing the outfits, the fashion choices.
Exactly. So for this deep dive, our job is really to unpack these unique and honestly pretty hilarious observations that pop up when, high fashion judgment hits the rugby field.
Okay, so let's get into this commentator's background a bit. They admit up front, rugby skills. Minimal.
Right. Basically non-existent. Their expertise, they say, comes from styling rugby players' wives. Back in Belleville for the big games, specifically against the Sharks.
So fashion isn't just a lens for them, it's like their whole world.
It absolutely is, and you see it straight away. Their take on the Sharks' all-black uniforms.
Oh, yeah.
They declare it haute joking. It's only second best to, none habits.
That's amazing. It totally reframes it, doesn't it? It's not just a kit. It's suddenly a design statement being judged.
And it gets surprisingly personal, too. In the middle of all this, they bring up their own major life complaints.
Which are?
Get this. Having nothing to wear and a closet that's always too small. Super relatable, right?
Yeah. And then there's this little aside about gaining extra closet space after coming out of the closet. It just adds this unexpected personal touch and humor. It's really not your standard sports commentary.
No, definitely not. And that critical eye, it really sharpens when they turn to the cheerleaders, the pom-pom girls.
Right. They're dismissed as barely dressed. And, crucially, from a design perspective, lacking branding space. That's the key issue for them.
Exactly. It's not about the dance moves. It's about fabric yield and marketing,
right,
which then spins into this call for, more inclusivity in rugby attire.
Okay.
Suggesting maybe we need some guys in tights out there, too, specifically sparkling tights for that essential razzle-dazzle.
Sparkling tights on the rugby field. Wow, it's just not what you expect.
It really isn't. It makes you notice things, though, doesn't it? Who usually thinks about branding space on a cheerleader's outfit? Suddenly that's, the central point.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think where it really hits its stride, this commentary, is when they start looking at the actual players and officials, treating their gear not just as kit, but as these elaborate, sometimes kind of absurd outfits.
Mm-hmm. Like the Springbok team's overall look, described as a costume shop on clearance sale day.
Ouch. But also kind of vivid.
Totally vivid. And the names they give individual players based on their outfits are just, brilliant satire. You get descriptions like elbow pad red shoes, belt wrestling neck gaiter, and my personal favorite, straight jacket, presumably for keeping aggression contained.
Straight jacket. That's brilliant. And it doesn't stop with the main team, right? The reserves get attention too.
Oh, yeah. They're apparently sporting windbreaker suspenders or embodying double-breasted chic.
Yeah.
Very specific.
And the officials?
The referee gets called out for his Peter Pan collar, giving off fairy tale vibes.
Yeah.
And the linesmen, they're just gym shorts undergarments.
Gym shorts undergarments. Brutal.
It all circles back to that question the source itself asks, playfully, is this whole scene high fashion or sporting disaster?
Right.
And by using the language of fashion, of aesthetics to describe these really functional, rugged bits of rugby gear, it completely changes how you see them. It forces you to look again. Is it just equipment or is it actually a kind of costume?
Exactly. It just shows how applying a totally unexpected lens, like haute couture, onto a contact sport can actually reveal surprising details, loads of humor, and maybe even a different kind of appreciation for something familiar.
Yeah, you see the purpose, the roles, but filtered through this completely alien judgment system based on style.
It makes you realize how much we just filter out, how we stop noticing things because we're so used to looking at them in one particular way.
Exactly. The source just gives you a playful nudge out of that rut.
So yeah, this deep dive into a fashionista's view of rugby really underscores how much perspective shapes understanding.
It really does. And it leaves you wondering, doesn't it? How much could you change your understanding or appreciation of something familiar just by deliberately changing the way you look at it?
What kind of unexpected perspective could you bring to something in your own world, maybe? Just to see what new things jump out. Definitely something to think about.